quit your job and now you regret it. With the Great Resignation going down, so many opportunities, a lot of professionals are choosing to make some moves right now. But what do you do if you quit your job and you regret it? That's what we're talking about in today's video. And of course, to make it easy for you, I will have chapters down below along with links to all of my socials in case you want to hang out with me on LinkedIn, TikTok, or Instagram. Now, if you're ready to figure out what to do if you regret quitting your job, tap that like button and let's jump straight into it. So the first thing that you need to know is that this is actually pretty normal. Quitting your job is a big change. Even if you're quitting a toxic job, it is a job that you know. You know exactly how to do the job, you know the players at the game, you know the office politics, the corporate politics already. So there's a lot about your job that you know the answers to, even if the answers are really annoying and not what you want to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. But now you're in this new job and you need to learn new systems, you need to learn new processes, you need to figure out who to ask questions to and who everyone is and what the personalities are. There's this really steep learning curve when you leave your job and start a new job. So of course, when you quit your job and you're in this new job and you're outside of your normal, it can leave you wondering, did I make a mistake in quitting my job? Now, just because it's normal doesn't mean that those feelings are valid or invalid. There's a few things that I want you to think about to help you work through this regret about quitting your job and figuring out if you should boomerang, that is, go back to the job that you quit, or if it's something that is going to dissipate really quickly, hopefully. So the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, why did you quit your job in the first place? Did you quit your job because it was a toxic job? In which case, my friend, I don't care what you think, you can't go back. Or maybe you left for less exciting reasons, like you weren't getting the career growth that you wanted, you weren't getting the mentorship that you knew would really help you move ahead. Or maybe you had a recruiter sliding into your DMs on LinkedIn and offering you this amazing opportunity that you just really couldn't say no to. And even though you got a counter offer from your job, you decided that this was the best step in your career. When you really look behind the reasons why you quit, there was a reason why you quit your job in the first place for this new job. That said, sometimes this regret about quitting your job comes up because you were sold an opportunity and it's not quite what you expected. The good old bait and switch. Okay, so maybe not the bait and switch, but there was definitely expectations that you formed during the job interview and you arrived and the job isn't what you thought it was going to be. Maybe the role is newer than you thought it was less established, maybe it's not as important as you thought it was going to be. I've even worked with clients who have had their job titles and job descriptions change once they actually arrive in this new job and they're like, what just happened here? And in that case, you can have a lot of regret about quitting this job, which was, you knew exactly what it was and maybe it was aligned and you thought you were bouncing to this great opportunity when you quit your job, but this new opportunity just isn't what you thought it was going to be. Now, if this is the case, you really need to assess the situation and maybe you even need to have some direct and candid conversations about, is this opportunity the right one for you? Is the difference in the expectations versus reality because you're onboarding and it's just going to take some time? Or maybe your hiring manager talked about all this autonomy and impact that you were going to have, but you arrived and found out that they were a toxic AF manager. Or worst case scenario, you found yourself in a toxic work environment. The red flags are flying now that you're there. Well, hopefully you can avoid this whole situation by watching my next video, which is going to be about job interview red flags. So subscribe it so you don't miss that one. But if the expectations versus reality of the role are totally different, or you found yourself in a toxic work environment or a work environment you know you are not going to thrive in, then it's going to be time for you to make some moves. And I'm going to come back to that in just a minute, but first I want to discuss with you real quickly when you should wait it out because you're going to get used to it and you're going to be delighted that you quit your job for this opportunity. Now, honestly, I feel like when most people get through their new job nerves, this is really where they end up being. As I just mentioned, in your last work environment, you knew exactly what to expect. You knew how to do the job. You had a high comfort level. Maybe you could even do your job in your sleep. There wasn't a ton of pressure, but now you need to form new relationships. You need to learn all of these things. You need to reestablish your reputation at this new job. And you also know that this is a crucial opportunity to stage yourself for rapid career growth if that's your thing. And all of this pressure in your new job to stage yourself for success can be overwhelming, and it can make us look back to be like, did I do the right thing? Because it seems really difficult. In that case, what I encourage you to do is wait a few weeks or a few months. You are going to get there. Even in that last job that you kind of regret quitting right now, you were still in that newbie, fresher state where you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know how to ask the questions. You didn't know where the copy paper was, but you figured it all out, and you are going to figure it all out again. It's going to take a little time, but chances are it's going to be awesome. But if you were in that prior bucket and you know that you made a mistake in quitting your job for this job, you need to take action. So here you really have 3 options available to you. First of all, as I mentioned, you can have a direct conversation. This is the job that I was expecting. This is what I discussed. Is this going to be the opportunity as I complete the onboarding process? If the answer is a firm no, like perhaps the company needs just changed, perhaps there was a miscommunication along the way, who knows? There's a million things that can happen here, and I can make this video really long by covering all of those scenarios, but I don't want to bore you. But if you're seeing some flags early on in the process, having a direct conversation about what you're looking for and what your expectations were are going to help you get on the same page. Now, if it works out that you have this conversation, or it just doesn't shake out being what you thought it was going to be, and you truly regret leaving your job, you have one of 2 options. You can boomerang, especially if you really loved your last job, it was a company that you enjoyed working for, and leaving it just gave you this appreciation of how good you really have it. You can attempt to go back. And as long as you're rehirable and there's an opportunity there, then you can get that job that you quit back. And this is one of the reasons why I really don't suggest burning bridges, torching them in exit interviews, bashing people on your way out. Honestly, sometimes it takes leaving a job to have that 2020 hindsight that it was actually a really great job that you enjoyed despite the frustrations that you were experiencing. But you're gonna have frustrations everywhere, right? On the other hand, you might not want to boomerang back to that job that you quit. Maybe you regret quitting that job and taking this job, but going back to that job wasn't an option. Maybe it was toxic. Maybe you were really stalled and the opportunities weren't there, and that's why you jumped in the first place. So again, knowing that reason why you left that job is really, really important. But in this case, you're not going to want to boomerang back. You're going to want to find a new opportunity. So in that case, you are in an active job search again, my friend. Now, I know some people are in the position where they're able to just realize the misstep and quit their job and focus 100% on their job search. If that's you, cool. And if you need to know if that's the right step, you can go and check out this video right now. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever regretted quitting a job? How did you approach it? Did you settle in? What did you end up doing? Let me know in the comments down below. And before you go to the next video, if you haven't already, if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and it makes you my favorite career bestie. If you haven't already, consider subscribing while you're there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.